Hey everybody, Sarah Grillo here. So I wanted to make this video as an inspirational message to all of you out there that might be a little bit discouraged in your business, trying to get it off the ground, or maybe that you're out there and you feel like you're leaving voicemails and you're not getting through. So this is an inspirational experience that I had, and I really want to share this with you. So there's this one company that I noticed their social media was kind of needing a little bit of help, and so I reached out to them. Well, I was just completely, I mean, obviously this always happens, right? But completely put off right from the beginning. I spoke with an influencer. I tried to get in touch with the CEO. Obviously, he's not going to speak to me, so I get in touch with the influencer, and he has this quick conversation with me that was basically ending in a brush off, and he's like, okay, well, if I need your services in the future, I'll call you. Except I kept emailing him and following up and sending, here's a sample of my work, and here's a technique that I use, and here's a book I wrote about LinkedIn, and I have a question for you, can we talk? And then just totally thwarted, just totally brushed off. I even went as far as to a week ago, I dropped by and they wouldn't even talk to me. Like, they basically slammed the door in my face when I showed up. Like, everybody's worst fear when they just decide to show up at a company unannounced is, well, what if they don't let me in? Well, that is exactly what happened. Like, my worst fear came true. I mean, it was absolutely like icy, brush off, get out of my face, right? And so, but I just was like, you know what? There was something that just bothered me about it, because I was like, I'm not willing to be blown off this way because I know that I can help. So I, at that point, went out to the, tried to get in touch with the CEO through a connection that I had. And it turns out a client of mine is connected to the CEO. And that, by the way, is intentional, because I generally call on the first degree connections of my first degree connections on LinkedIn. And so a client of mine, I looked in his first degree connections, and there was this CEO that I'm deciding to call on here. So that was not a mistake, okay? And that really works well, because as in this case, you can always refer back to your original first degree connection, as I did. And I went out to him and I said to my client, look, I'm trying to get in touch with Bill, I'm not connecting with anybody in the organization. Can you make an introduction to me? He did that. Well, still the CEO does not respond. Okay, so I've done a drop-in, I've sent videos, I've sent things in the mail, I've sent thank you cards, I mean, like, I'm doing everything here, and I'm not getting any response, any good response, and I'm getting blown off, and they're getting annoyed at me, and like, I called again last week, and the guy was basically like, look, don't contact me anymore. We're not interested, right? Like, the influencer really just kind of shut me down. But I had to persist, though, right? Because I knew I was so close. I knew I was getting close. Having been introduced to the CEO of the company, I just was not going to let that one fall away just because his influencer said to stop contacting. Like, I don't know. I knew that I was closer than I thought. So what I did was, I emailed him through LinkedIn and I said, look, and I'll actually read you, I wonder if I have it up here, the email that I sent, and I said, look, I said, I'm not trying to be a nuisance here, but I have reached out to the organization. I am not getting anywhere, and I know for a fact that I can help you. So I insist that you grant me 3 minutes of your time so that I can tell you what your options are, just so that you know, and then you make the decision. Well, about an hour later, I get a call from this number I don't recognize, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, now they're calling me to give me a cease and desist, or like, I just knew it was about that, right? And I'm like, now they're calling to tell me that they're gonna sue me, or like, I'm gonna get in trouble over this, because, things had not been amicable with this influencer. And actually the secretary was like, this was the secretary, by the way, who was like so authoritative with me and was like so mean and condescending, and like, now she's calling me to say that her CEO asked her to reach out and get 20 minutes of time on his calendar for next week. Okay. Okay. Yay! I won everybody. So that's the whole thing of it. By the way, you should have heard her tone of voice. It was like I won the battle and she was defeated. She had this defeated tone of voice, and she's like, I have to admit, you persisted, and it was really kind of amazing to watch, and you finally got through. So Sarah, good for you. John will speak with you for 20 minutes next week. So there you go, right? So that's the whole point of it, is that what I did well here was that in the end, once I realized that I wasn't getting anywhere with the influencer, I went directly to the decision maker and I varied the way that I was reaching out. You know, professional, persistent, polite, but at the same time, I didn't go away when they told me to. So for all of you out there, just keep, what I'm saying is like, just keep asking another time. Just keep finding the strength and the courage to somehow go out there and to find creative ways to reach out that are not just phone call and email. Because even though you might feel like you're not getting anywhere, just keep in mind that the more powerful the person, the harder they're going to be to reach. And so you're really going to have to get the numbers up there. And then when you do, what you find is that people do notice. And as long as you are skilled and you're adding value and you're being very professional about this, you will eventually win. It's just a matter of how long are you willing to hang in on the follow-up. I mean, you can see here that the tone was respectful, that they were like, you know, you won over our respect, you showed character. I mean, that's basically what she was saying in that. And I think that was why they decided to just give me 20 minutes of their time. So let me know if you have any questions about this, but this is a, you know, like, I was so discouraged, and this is just, to me, an unbelievable testament to the power of persistence and being creative. And so I actually intend to do this with all of my other quote-unquote dead clients, like or prospects. I'm going to go out to them and do the same thing today, and just you know, find a different way to ask another time in a different way, you know. So, and I should have done that actually probably a little bit earlier in this deal, but I learned. So good motivation for everybody. Let me know if any questions.